I work in HR and I've seen a lot of weird stuff over the years, but what happened 2 days ago is genuinely in a league of its own and I needed to tell someone. So we had a candidate coming in for an entry-level marketing position, mid-20s, seemed fine on paper. He shows up and there's a guy with him who I assumed was maybe just a ride or waiting in the lobby or something, but nope. They both walk up to the reception desk together and the dad, and yes, as you may have guessed from the title, it was his dad. I confirmed this later, introduces himself by name and says he's here to support his son through the process. I pulled the candidate aside and explained as nicely as I could that interviews are conducted one-on-one and that his dad was welcome to wait in the lobby. The candidate looked genuinely panicked and said, "Can he just sit in, he won't say anything." And I said no, the candidate selection process and all that, and there was a brief whispered conversation between them that I was not supposed to hear but absolutely did, and then the candidate came back and said okay fine and we went to the interview room. Everything was normal for maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Then my colleague asked the candidate to walk us through a time he'd handled a difficult situation at work, and before the candidate could open his mouth the door opens and the dad walks in, sits down in the empty chair next to his son and says, "I can help with this one, he handled something really well at his last internship," and we asked him to leave but he started arguing, said we were putting his son in an unnecessarily stressful situation, and the candidate was staring at the table the whole time, and honestly I felt bad for him at that point because whatever is happening at home is clearly a lot. And, we did not move forward with the candidate. Not because of him exactly, but because if this is what a job interview looks like, I genuinely cannot imagine what onboarding looks like. To me, this is more than just strange.